What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Don't Tell Mom podcast. We're self-distancing once again. This is the brother-sister duo. I am Cullen.
Welcome to the podcast. As you can see, back in our old stomping ground at the studio in my basement. But we're not down here to sit over there. We're down here to play some beer pong.
We are going to play some beer pong, virtual style beer pong. If you aren't watching and just listening, then just visualize. I've got my cups set up in a pyramid on my table on my side. She's got her cups set up on her side. We've got ping pong balls, and we're going to get hammered at 9 o'clock in the morning.
It's morning, guys. So, and I'm pregnant, like real pregnant. So, only option.
All right, here we go. We're going to start this off with a bang, and then we'll sit down and talk about everything some more. But, all right, I'll let you go first then, I guess, huh?
So the whole idea behind this was that we've got to start learning how to entertain ourselves from home. Yeah. We can't go do stuff, so we got to figure out ways to stay busy and to still be able to be social while having distance, right? So Cullen, I don't know about you, but I love beer pong. This was when you said that this morning, I was like, yes, let's play beer pong. Now I am 8 months pregnant, so I don't have any beer in mine. I have water, but it's still a fun game to play, and it's been a little while. I'm a little rusty, but hopefully I'll get a ball in. Let's see. Oh, first try, Cullen. Now, this is how you play, okay? You remove a cup, the cup that I landed in. So I landed in the second cup here in the second row.
Is it this side or this side? Does it matter?
You're trying to mirror whatever I'm doing. So then I drink my water. And I got one cup down. So I'm already whooping you. Already.
I'm hammered already. There we go.
So this is a fun game. Like, we saw this on the internet, and I just thought, this is awesome. You know what? Oh, Cullen, he just striked. He hit a strike. So you got nothing. Now, do we go back and forth? I don't really remember the rules of beer pong.
Back and forth. I need to set up and take a picture for Instagram. This is
funny. with your playing beer pong with your pregnant sister.
Where'd my ball go? Oh no.
I've got so we started off with it's 3, the pyramid goes 3, 2, 1, and I've got 1 down, so that's, let's see, 1, 2, those 6 cups. Now we're down to 5, and I'm gonna go for any of them. Bam! Got the first one, Cullen. I got another one. You're gonna have to remove a cup.
Oh, hang on, I lost my ball.
And then you drink. So if I hit if I hit it over there, I'm not even the one's drinking. You are.
Yeah, I found my ball. I gotta find my ball. Where did my ball go just now?
Oh God. See, here's the thing. Cullen used to have a ping pong table in his basement, and he was getting rid of it when he decided to sell his house. And so we ended up buying it. Now I've got all Cullen's ping pong balls. If you are watching on YouTube, you can see I've got all Cullen's ping pong balls. He's got a huge case of them. I got the ping pong table that I'm playing on, and then I've got like 6 different ping pong paddles. Oh, so I was this. I'm like,
oh shoot, I would have never found it. Okay, so which cup is it? The first one?
You gotta take the first one out because I hit another one.
All right, here we go. All right, let me get a Instagram going here. This is funny. Okay. Oh my God.
So we were looking. I was looking online, while we were setting this up this morning, and there's actually lots of different ways that you can go virtual and still party, right? So if you want to do some virtual reality with your friends and you still want to get together. We're on Zoom right now. That's what we're using to do this podcast. But you can do FaceTime or Skype or whatever you have, and just call up a friend and set up a game. Like one of them that I thought would be fun is karaoke. So there's tons of there's tons of songs on YouTube that with the lyrics that you could probably do karaoke with. But if you're a singing kind of person, then karaoke would be a really fun virtual reality get together.
Yes, yes. There's karaoke. There's God, there was several others I saw that were fun. Let me see if I can find them real quick before I make you drink.
Oh, and yeah, right. I'm not drinking. Cullen's gonna have all his cups down here, and I'm gonna be cleared out. But another fun one that I actually really want to try is they're doing like cooking classes.
Yes.
So you can be set up in your kitchen and you could be like a real chef how to cook. I actually have a couple friends that are chefs. So I'm really excited about doing that. Like I saw that this morning and was like, that's such a great idea, you know, because everybody's cooking from home right now. No one's trying to go out. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that are saying support your local businesses, but if you're paranoid like me, like I'm scared that the person cooking it for me is going to have it and put it on my food, and then I'm going to bring it home and eat it and get it.
Another one is one of those Mark, what is it, Mark Rubes Goldberg things.
What's that?
You try to make like a path for the ball to go down, and it goes down steps, and then it goes through a tube, and then it goes down some more steps, and then it hits into the cup.
Cullen, I saw the coolest gender reveal that used one of those. They like put the marble in, and it went like all around their house through all these little obstacles, and then like popped the balloon and it was a girl or whatever. Like that was the coolest gender reveal I've ever seen. It gave me a really good idea for our next baby.
Look, we got Brooks in the house. Hey, I got Katie in here. She's gonna take a picture for Instagram real quick. So let me. I set it back up just so I could take a picture. I'm gonna pull you up full screen.
Hey, you gotta do it for the fam.
Yes. So let me get a picture.
What do you want me to? What do you want?
Like try to get like.
Hey everybody. Hey Katie. Welcome to the podcast. Hey.
See the screen. You know what I mean?
Okay, sort of.
Kind of like that, just showing that we're doing social distancing beer pong.
Okay, ready?
You may throw it or just.
Sure, go for it.
Ready, 1, 2, 3. Oh!
Oh! Did you miss it, didn't you?
Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, let me remove my cups. No.
Come on, buddy. Come on,
You're gonna spill it. Okay, now it's my shot. All right, here we go.
Fair. Thanks, Cullen. Everybody's at home, and so you got to be prepared for a naked baby to run across the back, or a wife or a husband to come in.
He's got his bathing suit on. He woke up ready. All right, here we go.
The party. I love it. It's my turn. You missed, right?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so Cullen, you got all your cups still over here.
Golly, I'm doing horrible.
You're about to get hooched. Oh, back left from me. Drink it. Yeah, so I'm listening to my brother at beer pong, which is pretty normal.
Wait, so okay, here we go. Now I've got 3.
Yeah.
Do I put all my cups back out? Is that the thing? I should probably.
I set up 2, so you have to set up like you're actually playing with the person. And then you just have to do all the maneuvering.
Huh, maybe I should.
All your cups should be there, Cullen.
None of them?
All of them.
All of them should be.
All your cups should still be there because you haven't made any cups yet.
Okay, there we go. Gotcha. That's why I love it taking my cups away. Dang it!
You still didn't get one.
Nope.
I'm this game up though, Cullen, because I'm about to get you right here. Oh, the first miss of the day.
Right.
I don't even know. So there's social distancing. There's ways to do this, and some people are getting it right. Some people are getting it way wrong.
Yeah.
This beer pong, and this is the right way to do it.
Another one I've seen, and one we're going to actually do later today, is a scavenger hunt. We've done it in our neighborhood scavenger hunts, but there's different scavenger hunts, like a nature scavenger hunt. Our teachers, the kids' teachers, are sending them like a list of things to go outside and look for, like a stump or a squirrel or a butterfly.
Nice. So that part of the school, because I heard that school started again today.
Yes, the homeschooling is a real thing. So they are back on the grind.
Are y'all? I know your kids are so young. Are y'all actually doing it?
Yes. They had a Zoom call yesterday, actually, Gaines's class, and she's like scheduled a individual call with each of the students once a week, and I mean it's like a serious thing. They're taking it serious. I was impressed. They had packets that we had to go pick up with all the stuff.
It's like real school, huh?
Yes.
That's awesome. I'm glad that they're still like participating. I'm glad that they're still participating in all that. But yeah, neighbor, they're like 10, 11, like they're in junior high, I think. I don't know, 13, one of them. And they're actually like doing like they're like back in school. Like it's serious business now.
Something else that I saw that was fun, or something else that I've seen other neighborhoods do is like a neighborhood zoo. So all the families in the neighborhood would set up a zoo in their front yard with all the stuffed animals that they had.
Yeah.
So you could drive around and just look at the neighborhood quote unquote zoo, not with real animals, obviously. Like
oh yeah, well our neighborhood's doing that one too, where you put a teddy bear in the window.
Yes. All right.
So
we'll call it.
What now?
We'll call it. You beat me on beer pong.
Oh yeah, I whooped you. Get close so I could see you, because it's like, okay, there's time for fun and games, and there's time to sit and chat, pot it up.
Yes.
It feels good being down here in the studio, Cullen.
It does. It's been a while. I feel like I'm right there with you.
Right? You're right here. I love it. I mean, you know, people are really just getting real creative. Everything that I've been seeing online, it's like people are getting just super duper creative on how to go about this next month, because Cullen, it's looking like it's going to be a month.
It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. It was weird yesterday. Well, let me turn this monitor down. I can hear the kids. The classmate, one of Gaines's classmates, had a birthday party, and that's one of the hardest things for their age group is these kids that are 5 and 6 that look forward to having friends over for their birthdays. And she had all this stuff planned, and then obviously this happened. So she had everybody send her a happy birthday FaceTime message, and then she had a neighborhood parade. So we all lined up at like 10:55, and then she stood out in her driveway, and we all drove by with happy birthday signs and banners and hung the kids out the sunroof, and they just waved and we honked as we all drove by.
Well, so, that was sweet.
Yeah,
and that was the neighborhood, right?
That was one neighborhood over. We were actually out getting a prescription refilled so we wouldn't get in trouble if we got over, because they have shut down everything otherwise. No, just lollygagging out in the public.
Cullen, apparently this is the week that you don't want to go to the grocery store. You don't want to go to the pharmacy. Like you should have already packed up on enough stuff to get you through this, which is like the peak.
Yeah.
Like referring to it like Pearl Harbor and 9/11. Like this is going to be the big peak.
Yeah.
And so
we did that last week. We stocked up on a bunch of stuff, but just the prescription had to get filled yesterday. I couldn't fill it sooner, but I saw a thing that said 1920 alcohol is prohibited. 2020 alcohol is essential during a worldwide pandemic.
Right? I mean, seriously, how many people do you think is going to come out of this with a problem?
I know. It's crazy.
I was watching something about addicts and this pandemic, and how this is like the worst time. Like reach out if you have somebody that is struggling with addiction and stuff like that. How are you doing with that?
Oh, doing great.
I know you think like during a time like this, it's like everybody's at home getting hooched and like you're home and you're bored and you want to, they say about idle hands, you know what I mean? Like if you don't have anything to do, you're going to start thinking about that.
Yeah.
And so I was watching that little clip on the news the other day, and I thought about you, and I thought about a lot of my friends that I know that have struggled with addiction, and just reached out to a couple of them. They said they're doing okay. But I can imagine that right now is the worst time for like depression and addiction and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's a scary thing, man.
It is. It feels like it's been a 2-week, 3-week vacation so far, just in general. But doing what we do and having our heads on straight now, it's been just trying to create that routine, getting up, doing virtual church on Sundays, and like we're gonna dress up in our Sunday finest next weekend for Easter, just to make it feel like we're doing.
Y'all doing an Easter egg hunt in your neighborhood?
Not in our neighborhood. Like we're doing it in our backyard, probably, like just with the kids. But yeah, we're not letting anybody get close. And I actually stopped by Mom's yesterday while we were out doing that parade, and we stopped by both grandparents' houses, and it was just hard because Mom wants to like come up and like put her arms up on the car.
Hug you, kiss your neck. Yeah, I know.
Oh my God, we were like, no, get away. Like, and she was like, oh, I can't, like, you don't think, it's hard to think about it like that, but you have to like be aware. And
right. To Rocky's house yesterday, and because I was dropping off this big canvas. You know, he's a good artist, and I had this big canvas, and I've been looking for things to do around the house. You know, so I had this canvas that I had tried to paint at one point in time a year or so ago, and I'd used like a stencil on it. And anyway, I hated it, but it was a giant canvas. I'm talking like 6 feet by 7 foot, like huge canvas that I made myself. Remember?
yeah, I remember.
I think you helped me make it, I think. Well, anyway, I didn't like what was painted on it. So I said, hey, there's a good activity for me to do. And this is why Corey's still out of town. But it was to take this canvas and repaint over it and get creative and try to paint a new painting, because I wanted to replace one that I have on the wall that's just Sophia. It's like a real big canvas of Sophia. But I thought when Lily gets here, that's not really fair.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to take it down and put something else up there, and we'll do so, you know. And when we get a canvas of Lily, then we'll put them both up somewhere. But so I thought that would be a fun little project, you know, little arts and crafts to pass the time. And I painted it, and then I looked at it and I realized, you know, I don't have the ability to paint anything that I really want, that I'm going to like. The only thing that's even in the realm of possibility for me to actually do is abstract, you know, and try to make it look like I meant to do that way, and like make it look pretty. And I said, well, you know what? I have a really creative friends that are at home bored too. So I painted over the bad, made it a blank canvas again. And then I took it to Rocky and said, hey, you paint it, since I know you're home and you're bored. Took him a bag of paint, the canvas, everything he needed, and said, paint me something awesome. And he's really talented. So I'm really excited to see what he comes up with. But same time, I'm a little nervous because, like, what if I don't like it? And then he's like my best friend. He comes to the house and he's like, where's the painting I spent forever doing? And like this giant picture.
He's going to come Tiger King stuff in the background like that.
Yeah, if you're watching. No, I don't want any Tiger King stuff. I still haven't watched it. You know, Katie had wrote something about how she couldn't stand it, or she couldn't get through the first episode. And I was like, you know, that's probably going to be me. So I wasn't going to go out of my way trying to find it. But I'll eventually watch it. You know, I'll eventually see what it's all about, see if I can get through it.
We finished Love is Blind. It's another show. That's another.
That one.
What?
You're late to the party on that one. I've watched that a long time ago.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, what? With Nick Lachey and.
Hey, one girl.
Which one?
The one that with the nice guy that wants to date the other guy.
Yeah.
Her, and he's like getting married.
Mark and Barnett.
Yeah.
Barnett
she's still crushing on, but she's with Mark.
Yeah. The older one.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a B.
That seems like what I've been doing a lot of, Cullen, is like catching up on TV shows. I just started this one called Billions.
I hadn't heard
And
of
I've heard about it too, and I just never like went and did it. Cullen, you're a friend. You're a friend's house. Cullen is, if you're just listening and you're not watching this on YouTube, go check it out on YouTube too, because Cullen's changing his background to pretend like he's in all these awesome places. Like right now he's in the kitchen at the friend's house.
Yeah, you can go to your preferences in Zoom and change. It was actually trending on Twitter, and I saw it. It's called virtual backgrounds on Zoom, and so people are creating these virtual backgrounds, and then you can download them, and the app comes with built-in background, and so you can add. Oh, you're building a bridge. Oh, you're in outer space.
Oh man, that's awesome. I love it. And you can even go into your own pictures. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
The stuff we can do virtually. There was another have you seen some of these family TikTok dances and stuff? That was another thing that I've seen.
Yeah.
There are some cool parents out there, like some hip dads and moms that are like
dancing better than the kids are.
Yes, I'm like, dang, this is crazy.
I know. Well, see, the thing is, it's just been me and Sophia at home, and Corey's been out of town working, and I guess he's considered essential. It just depends on if there's jobs for him or not, which there's not. They're like stopping. They wanted to send him to Puerto Rico at the end of the month, but they said that what he would have to do is he would have to quarantine in a hotel that they provided for 2 weeks, and then fly to Puerto Rico, and then work for 1 week, and then go to a hotel, quarantine for 2 weeks, and then come home. So it would take 5 weeks for him to do a 1 week job. And he told his higher ups, he said, I ain't doing that. My wife would kill me if I leave for 5 weeks when she's about to have a baby. So we had to turn that one down. I'm fortunate that he still has a job, but you got to kind of pick and choose right now because it's scary out there, and he travels for work, and there's just
crazy.
Isn't that crazy? 2 weeks, and they were going to pay for it. They're going to pay for the hotel and pay him for 2 weeks of work. It's actually a pretty sweet gig if you think about it, because he just has to sit in a hotel room for 2 weeks and play video games. And
is he allowed to do that though? Like I thought they canceled all flights and stuff. And
I don't know. See, Corey is like I don't know. He's a weld inspector, and so right now is like their busy time for all these shutdowns, and he works at imagine like oil pipeline companies. Like people still need gas, so they still have to make sure that the pipes under the ground are flowing and aren't cracking and breaking. You know what I mean? So if he has to inspect something like that, or he works for power plants and nuclear power plants and paper mills and like these big factories. So it's really just a matter of if I think they're like most of them are considered essential, but it just depends on if they're willing to pay for the quarantine time too, because you got 2 weeks before you get there, 2 weeks before you leave.
I wouldn't.
And the show must go on though, Cullen. Like what's going? Like
that's what's so crazy about all this is it going to get to the point where this show must go on and people are just going to be like, F it. We got to get back to work and get back out there. And I'm nervous about the immune systems. Like we're going to get back out and like get just all deathly ill from something else random because our immune systems aren't as strong as they used to be after all this.
No, I think more so it's going to be like, it's going to take a really long time. There's people out there that are cutthroat, Cullen, they're ruthless. These landlords don't care if you don't have rent and you lost your job. I saw a text message. It was a meme or whatever, or maybe it was this girl on Facebook that was just putting it on the Facebook group, and she would like screenshot her phone, and she said, she had just paid rent, and then she said, unfortunately, the next month's rent is going to be probably really late because we both lost our jobs today. Like they had just paid it, and then they were giving a heads up for next month. And the guy wrote back and was like, hey, I'm sorry, but I'm going to need you to have rent. Like, it's too early in this coronavirus pandemic for you to already be talking about not having rent. Hopefully you're not one of those people that live paycheck to paycheck, and was just like ruthless and was like, you better have rent.
That's
so
great.
what I'm scared of is next month when rent's due and all these people are now homeless because they're cut, because you think the banks care? The banks don't care. They're still going to get their money from the landlord. And if they don't, then they're going to foreclose. There's going to be I'm nervous about what's going to happen there, because then you've got people that have lost their job, that have lost their home now too, that are potentially sick, that have nothing to lose. And they're going to come and they're going to try to break into my house and get my canned goods.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I don't know, since last time we were on, we came out and we took our house off the market.
Oh, I saw a video about that.
Yeah, so we decided to take our house off the market due to all this. All this plus just everything, like our routine
Already.
sanity and just the amount of showings with no. I mean, we had like 3 offers in the time span, but nothing to make us get out of here. And then all this happened, and it's like, I don't want to get out of here and then find a rental and then possibly be kicked out or whatever the case may be, and then also catch the virus due to all this and yada yada. So
or home to look at it that has it and is touching your doorknobs and you didn't clean it good enough, and then next thing you know, the scariest part for me is that you don't know if you're going to be the one that shows no symptoms, that is mild for when you get it, or if you're going to be the one that dies.
Yeah. Well, and one of the good things is we talked to our bank and they pushed our mortgage off for 3 months. So
good.
it worked out.
Wait, I got questions about this, because we were like, should we try to not pay our mortgage or call the bank and see if we can push our mortgage back just in case? That's what we were thinking, because now Corey's home and he's not going to be working again for another month probably. And so we were like, should we do that? But then we read somewhere that what they were doing was they were saying, okay, well, you don't have to pay your mortgage for 3 months, but at the end of those 3 months, we want all that money.
Ours is a form that we filled out that says they basically take the amount of the 3 months and put it at the end of your mortgage, not at the end of the 3 months, but like they basically kind of roll it over to the very end. So you're still going to end up paying it, but they're just giving you 3 months of leeway.
Right. Okay, and that's like just the principal, or are you paying interest too, or?
Yeah, I don't know. That's something we talked about or we had questions about, but the form, I think, explained everything. Katie filled it all out, and it seemed like a good deal.
Right? Okay. Well, then that's good. At least that's one less thing that y'all have to worry about right now with everything else going on.
And we're still going to be we're still acting like we're going to pay our mortgage every month, so we're not going to be, but just not knowing what's going to happen in the next month, 2 months, 3 months. It's just,
yeah. You want to have what's the saying? 1 in the pocket's better than 2 in the bush.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. You want to keep what you have just in case, because you have no idea which way the tide's going to turn with this thing.
Something you mentioned earlier was gas, and we were out yesterday. I've never seen the gas prices as low as they are. It was, I think, $1.64 at one place.
Yeah, Corey drove from South Carolina to come home. He got back yesterday or day before yesterday, and he said the lowest he saw was like 90 cents.
Whoa.
90 cents a gallon. Can you imagine?
That's crazy.
Well, that's what I said. I said we had to go, or we went to Rocky's yesterday. We didn't touch him, he tried to come up and elbow bump me, and I was like, get away from me. I don't elbow. That's not 6 feet. He's trying to be safe, but I was like, it's natural to want to run up and hug him. But anyway, we had gone, and we just were in the van, went straight there, came straight back. Corey was even nervous. He was like, I seen cops on the road. I bet they're going to pull people over just for being out and blah, blah. But anyway, we went and we came back, and I said, while we're out, should we go ahead and put gas in my van while the gas is so low? Go ahead and fill it up. And he was like, no, we're not risking it right now, Brittany. What are you going to say, $2? Like, no. He's like, how do you know it's the lowest it's going to get anyway? It's probably going to get lower in the next couple weeks. So,
Right.
yeah.
Well, one of the things on the website when they shut down the whole state and everything is they said you could be out for essentials. They also said you could be out for going to visit family and exercise. So it's like, if unless you know the stuff that's listed on the website, I mean, you could basically say you're going to any of those places and still be fine. I think it's kind of pointless in my mind. I'm like, why do they even rate? But I think putting the fear with these words about shut down is going to get everybody in versus just having pool parties and stuff. So
Right? It's nervous. Like, personally, I don't want to go anywhere. I do know that I think I'm going to be the one that goes because Corey is home now. So before, like, I had mom bring me some milk and stuff because I was like, I don't want to go to the store for milk with this baby. And when things are getting so hairy out there, and she brought me something. I also didn't want my older mother going to the store, but she insisted and she was going anyway. And I was like, all right, come on. So she brought me some stuff the other day. So I haven't had to go out of the house for like a week and a half now. And then now, and Corey's home now and he's willing to go out, but I'm like, it doesn't make any difference. If you go out and get it, I'm going to go out to the same place and get it. You know what I mean? And then you bring it home to each other. You don't know when this moment you get it. So what I think about is that Costco and Target are actually opening their doors up in the mornings before the crowd for the elderly, but also for the pregnant people.
Yeah, I heard that.
So I'm actually going to take one for the team tomorrow, and I'm getting up at 7:00 and I'm going to Costco, and hopefully they'll be stocked. Like, that's what I'm thinking is they're probably going to be stocked up, so you get like first dibs, so you don't have to worry about going in with all the other people. And I'm already compromised because I'm 8 months pregnant. You know what I mean? So it makes me feel a lot better to know I've got my mask, I've got gloves, I've got the hand sanitizer. I'm going to go in, get what we need, get out, and do it before the rest of the world is allowed in.
Yeah, you still got to be careful though because of the way it like sits on there for 7 days or whatever. 3 to 4 days. No telling who's moved boxes around the night before. Blah blah blah. Walgreens also offers for the elderly window shopping. Like, you can pull up to the pharmacy drive-through window, and then there's select items that. So the elderly don't have to go into Walgreens, but the pharmacist will go shop for them and then slide it to them through the window. So
that's like, isn't this crazy how we're all just kind of reimagining how to do things and like
it's
and just
you see these fresh snips. You like that?
Oh yeah, y'all tagged us in that challenge, and Corey got home, and so we're gonna do the challenge.
Oh yeah, it was like, what are you doing right now or something? Katie got tagged, but we were talking about it though, and it's just like, once you realize you can save $25-$30 or whatever here and there by doing stuff at home, like, what's going to happen to the beauticians or the haircutter places, the barbershops, and then the offices and stuff that are doing these Zoom calls? Like, you're going to, one, cut back your the amount that you're having to rent for office space. So it's kind of a win-win situation. Like, these companies are like going to learn, oh, I don't have to buy this huge
big commercial. Yeah,
I can send half the employees home, so then the employees are happier. I mean, I guess you got to learn to work, like you're still going to the office. But
commercial buildings are going to go out of business. They're going to tank because no one's going to rent the space because now we could do this remotely. We don't have to pay this giant rent. I mean, it could like crumble us, this could be crippling.
It's crazy.
As economy, because I don't know. I think for the most part, like Corey, he thinks that everything's going to pretty much just go back to normal. But I think that there are going to be some big changes, like you're saying. Like, I don't think that people are going to realize we need to be paying rent for this big building when our employees can do it themselves from home, and they've now been trained pretty much to do remote work after they had to be. And so, yeah, I think like you, I think that it's going to be an eye opener for a lot of people. And a lot of people are going to realize that they don't have to go spend $20 on a haircut when they can do it from home. And, you know, a lot of things are going to change. Like I was talking to Annie this morning, our sister, and she's in Cambodia. And we were talking about how much cheaper it is over there than over here. And she was like, you know, my money can last me, if we're locked down for 6 months, the money I have, it can last me the whole time. Whereas if I was in America, it wouldn't last me a month.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. At the same time, she's ready to come home, you know, because she can't go like, what a terrible time to go travel the world, and then you get stuck in one place and you can't go anywhere, or you can't even do any of the cool things in that place you wanted to do.
Yeah.
She's having but she's like interviewing for jobs back here in America, but she was like, I can't even get back, they won't let me in. They won't let me, no one will let me in.
Yeah.
So
Big Baumhauer's restaurant yesterday that just went up, and it's just like thinking about these businesses and people that are like pouring their life savings into this job, and then all of a sudden they're like, yes, it's spring break season, it's March Madness, we're going to kick off with a bang, and then boom, you got this empty building for months. It's just golly.
There's a restaurant right down here, and it makes you want to go out and do the takeout thing, like these restaurants and stuff, and to do that and kind of like support your local businesses. Like Corey, he wanted to get some beers, and so he was like, you know, they have it where you can drive through and you don't even have to go in or touch anybody. I was like, okay, then you can go. But he wanted to go down, and I was like, no, we have a brewery up here in Hoover. Like, let's support our local businesses directly near us, because these are the ones that are going to go. I mean, Melt in Birmingham, I don't know if you've ever had Melt, but it's really good. And they just opened, and we've been like waiting. We've been looking at the Facebook updates about, you know, this new little shopping center they built by our house, and like waiting on all these awesome new restaurants. Melt was one of them. They have one downtown, and now there's one right down the street. And so we've been really excited about that. And I'm just watching. They're doing curbs. They opened in the pandemic. During the pandemic, they're like, I guess we're gonna open anyway and just do takeout.
There's a lot of companies I've seen like that, like on our Facebook neighborhood, they'll have the food trucks, like the Cajun steamer food truck, and they'll have like a survival family pack starter kit. And so you'll have like your gumbo, your jambalaya, and you could buy like big tins of it for $40 or something. But the one thing I thought was surprising yesterday was one of our local Mexican restaurants was like, we're still open for takeout orders and to go margaritas. And like, how can you do that now, but you couldn't do it then legally? And why didn't you do it sooner? And how is this going to change the outlook on the future for business, knowing that you can do it and get away with it? Like, Katie was like, well, maybe they're tightening it up in a jug, so it's like they know you're going to take it home. And I'm like, well, they could have done that 2 years ago and said, I'm taking it home. And
because they for it now, it's like grabbing at straw. You're trying to do anything you can to keep these businesses afloat, and so they're being lenient, like these liquor laws and stuff, especially down here where it's so strict anyway. We still have counties in Alabama that are dry, but like you imagine, they're being more lenient because of the circumstances and trying to keep these places in business. But I'll tell you, it's been really cool, because I've been keeping up with it too on Instagram and Facebook, all the local Birmingham Now and whatever, and the local magazines that I follow. But it's been real interesting to see how people are getting creative and how they're doing the little bags of mixed drinks and and doing the mimosas packs and all that stuff. So you got to get handed to them. They're getting creative, but how many employees do you need to do a curbside? You know what I mean? Like, how many employees are you actually going to be able to continue to pay without? Because it doesn't matter how much takeout you're doing, your income, what you're getting is gone down. I mean, you might be making a fourth of what you were making when you were open. Yeah. Is how I don't know the numbers. I'm just thinking, like, there's no way you're making anywhere near how much you were making before this happened. So, like, how do you keep these people afloat? And then here's another thing we were talking about was like, okay, they're doing this stimulus check. Well, $1,200 to me is a lot more than $1,200 to somebody who pays $6,000 a month for a rent in New York, right? So, we were talking about it, and it's like, what's going to happen though is that people are going to get this check, and they're going to go out and buy Sea-Doos and cool hats and some new kicks, and they're not going to use it for rent because they think that their rent's going to be forgiven, and they're not going to be responsible with the stimulus. And the whole idea is to like boost the economy and for them to give it to us so then we can give it away to somebody else and we can go spend it. And I get it. But at the end of the day, that doesn't pay the bills. Your bills aren't going to get paid. You know, your rent's not going to get paid. You're going to end up losing your house because $1,200 is really not a lot of money.
I saw a meme the other day. This guy, he was acting like it was like government, and it was like, you must stay home. Mandatory in-house, social distancing. You must stay home. You lose your job. And then employee or patron or citizen. Well, what about my rent? How am I going to do this? We'll give you $1,200. Then citizen, well, that's not going to cover my rent. I need more than that to survive. Oh, I'm sorry. It's just like, here's a little, it's just like trying to balance it out, but it's just never, I don't see how it would in the end. I don't know.
They gotta start printing a lot more money.
Yeah, really.
1,200 is not going to cut it, and we still got to wait a month to get that. Well, we're going to be starved to death in a month, so I don't know. I mean, I see these third world countries and stuff. Like I said, I was talking to Annie this morning, and she's like, "These people know how to live with nothing." You know what I mean? Life is going on around here. Oh boy.
I lost your face. There you are. One thing I saw the other day too was this guy. It was in a different language, but he had like 5 different face masks because people are getting creative, making face masks out of T-shirts and quilts and stuff you have laying around the house or bandanas. And I got 2 points actually. The guy was holding up a face mask, and then he took an aerosol can and he sprayed it, and you could just see the spray come out through the mask. And so he did it like 5 times, and it was like, this didn't really protect it. I guess it protects from projectile like snot landing on something, but like particles were still getting through certain material. And then when we were driving down through the street, we drove past the Piggly Wiggly, and literally 3 people walked out with bandanas around their face and gloves on. And I'm just waiting for the news article to come out that Piggly Wiggly got robbed. And then you're not going to be able to say who it is because everybody's got this normal new thing they're wearing.
Oh my gosh, I never even thought about that. Robbers going into banks.
Just walk in and it's normal, and then you give me all your money, and then you walk out and it's like no fingerprints, no facial recognition, cameras everywhere, but you can't do anything because it was normal for me to just walk in covered up.
Oh, and you just put a whole new fear on me. Like the Nest cameras and the doorbell cameras and stuff don't work anymore because it's like normal.
Yep.
That is scary, Cullen. I didn't even think about that. I want you to take that back. I don't even want you to put that out in the world and give anybody any ideas going and robbing the banks.
It's probably already happened.
Hey, I will tell you what though, so the way that my family dynamic is that I'm not really allowed to touch any of our money. I don't make very much money myself, but the little bit of money that I do make doing like little sponsorships and stuff on my Instagram or my YouTube, I get to keep, and that's like my play money. It's my money. So, so I have a little bank account for my little money. Well, I've had a couple $100 in there, and the reason that I don't really have access to our bank accounts or anything is because I'd spend it all. That's just the way that life is. So it's been like this running joke with us. It's like, how much money do you have in your bank account? Same as yesterday. It's like, because there's nowhere to go spend it. It's amazing how much money I have been able to save just because I'm literally not going anywhere. I'm eating from home, and I love to eat. Like 9 times out of 10, all my money goes to like food. Because I like, especially these last few months, because I'm a hungry pregnant lady, and I get like hangry, and I get like pissed off if it's not exactly what I want and it's not delicious. Like I'm one of those. I really like food. So, not going in, I'm too scared to go and get food. So, and then when I do go to the grocery store, I come home and I have my mask and my gloves on and everything, and I'll literally Clorox wipe every single thing before it goes in the refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I'm just being really super cautious. And but it's been crazy these last like a whole week, like $400 in my account for a whole week. Cullen, that's unheard of for me to have that much money in my account and it's still in there. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So that's one thing.
We did one of our like comparison videos over on our main channel talking about last year versus this year and that kind of thing. And we did the whole comparison on entertainment last year during March. And we spent $1,700 on eating out and going out. And then this month, in that month, $1,700 or something. And that doesn't include groceries. And so, and then we did that for this year. This month, we spent $5. And that was on a tip for a free pizza that I had. Like, it's just crazy. No, we're not spending anything.
You're just fine. And you're like just as you're probably happier this month than you were that month.
Yes. I saw another meme that said, I need to know when this is all going to be over, or if this is all going to be over. It's all going to be over summer, because if it is, then I need to get my body back. If not, then F it.
Because it's not coming by summer, I'm afraid.
Just eating spaghetti.
Even if everybody says, do you really think that if Trump comes on the podium and he says a month from now, okay, it's clear, everybody can go back out, just be, cautious or whatever, try to keep social distance or whatever, but everybody, you can go back to work, everything's open again. Do you going to go out? No. I'm not.
Well, that's the whole outlook is going to be like, I'm going to be afraid to send my kids to school. I'm going to be afraid to go like touch anything at the grocery store again, because you just don't. It's like, holy cow! It is like one of those things that nobody saw coming.
I had no idea it was bad. It was a thing. It was a China problem in my head. You know what I mean? And I've gone through all the different emotions. Like, okay, oh, that's a China problem. Then I've gone to the media's blowing it out of proportion. Then I've gone to this is kind of getting serious. Then I've gone to maybe I shouldn't go all those places today. I'll just go to these two that I really need to. We ain't leaving the house unless it's a dire emergency. I'm down to my last can of green beans. Like that's what's gonna happen. But I like joy and my understanding of what's going on, just to see how it's grown over the last month from like being a problem that's not really my problem to being my problem. It's just it's dramatic.
I saw on Twitter this past week, it was funny after what we talked about with all the conspiracies with 5G and stuff, that was trending. All these celebrities were getting bashed on Twitter because some of them were backing up this claim that 5G was causing the reaction with cells and all this. And then everybody else was saying, y'all are idiots. Like 5G is not, and that was basically the premise of the article, is like 5G did not cause this, or I don't know. People are starting to pick up on it in the celebrity world too. It's weird.
Well, the celebrities piss me off because they're over here like, we're in it together. We all got to stay home and do this. And it's like, bitch, you got a $50 million mansion with a tennis court and a movie theater and butler service that you can have tested before they come in your house. You know what I mean? Like we're not in this together. It's not the same for you as it is for me because I don't have those luxuries. But everybody is kind of dealing with it however they can. Corey's one of those that was very the media's blowing it up out of board. It's not that big of a deal. He was just very reluctant to believe any of the hype, and now to see him worried about it and him like put his foot down and be like, you're not leaving the house. The babies are not leaving the house. If anybody's going, it's me. You know what I mean? And like him actually, the day I see him put a mask on is going to be the day that like I'm real scared, because you know what I mean? He never gets sick. He's 10 foot tall and bulletproof. That's the man I married. He's nothing could ever hurt him. He's Superman, and that's his mentality. That he doesn't get sick. He's good. He's strong, tough man, But now to see him like nervous about it and really putting thought into it and being like, I think it's best we just stay home. And like, especially yesterday when we're in the car and he said, we just need to go ahead and get home. We went straight to Rockies and he said, we only were there a couple minutes and we're talking to him from 20 feet away. And he says, okay, Brittany, it's time to go. We need to get home. We don't want to be on the roads that we might get pulled over. We don't want to have to explain why we're out, and all this. Let's just get home. And so, I don't know. It makes me him nervous,
The fear is real now. And I was the same way until I saw Katie's Instagram stories 3 weeks ago when she was in Sam's, and it looked like the apocalypse. I was like, what is going on? At first I was like, this is all blowing out of proportion, and whatever, there's always gonna be toilet paper, or we can figure something out. That's not a big deal. But when you see it, and then you see the numbers, and the numbers are doubling every day, and that's where it's just like, oh dang.
Crazy. This morning it was like 330,000 people in the United States have confirmed cases. And then it said yesterday that China had 81,000 confirmed cases. And I'm going, this doesn't make sense. And then Corey goes, it's because China's lying but about their numbers. But like, it just doesn't make sense. And then I had to remember that the reason that our numbers look so high is because we probably have way more we've done way more tests than any other country. So just because it looks like we're the highest doesn't necessarily mean we are. It just means that we have that many people that have actually gotten been tested, been confirmed, and can write down for sure, like this many people has that.
It's still accurate though. I would imagine it's probably
double that.
Double what they're telling you. Even, I mean, there's stuff I've heard through the grapevine, through medical professionals, and stuff that we have connections with that have said it's a lot worse than what they're saying. So
they're trying, like, where's the balance though? Like, how do you try to keep the community calm, but at the same time, like, prepared and alert and like in the know, but without causing panic? And then it's a fine little tightrope line we're walking here,
It is a different world. Like, just pulling out of our neighborhood the other day, seeing, just like we did with Mom, but just seeing like a family in a car sticking their head out waving, and then the grandparents are in the yard taking pictures. Just that mental image when I was driving through our neighborhood yesterday, I was like, what is going on? Like, this is so weird. It's
Twilight.
I can't get my mind around it.
Well, it's one of the things that hopefully we'll all live through, and we'll look back on when we're 80 and 90 years old and say, the great pandemic of 2020, and we survived it. And unfortunately, a lot of people they're not going to survive it. There's thousands and thousands of people have died, and then they're saying this is going to be the worst week yet. And so it's a scary thing for sure. I'm lucky that we're living in Alabama and not New York.
New York, yeah.
Like, of the cases are in New York. Like 125,000 of the cases are in New York. So it makes me happy that we're kind of living in this, like, not a real popular destination place. I've out in LA that I'm scared to death for, and luckily, hopefully everybody in New York's okay. But I did hear that the people that are already had it, they have something in their blood or their bone or something that can help, like antibodies.
Yeah.
So my whole thing, this is my mentality, Cullen, and this is what I think yours should be too, is that let's push it off. If there's anything that you do want to go, if you say, I really need to go to the store because we are out of eggs, it's like, do you really need eggs? Like, normally your normal mentality is, we're out of eggs, go to the store and get some eggs. But it's like, what you can eat something you can have breakfast without eggs.
Yeah,
for a couple.
The last 2 weeks, we're out of everything, and we're like, but we don't need it until we needed it when we did our big haul.
Yeah,
like,
it's just home.
We got creative. I actually made some of Dad's gravy with flour and like homemade.
Shingle.
Huh?
With toast, to shit on a shingle. His little military food.
We had frozen biscuits, but I just made the gravy homemade, which in the past I would just go buy a powder packet or something just because it's easier. Yeah. But I was like, I want some gravy, and I don't remember how to make this stuff with flour and oil. And
yeah. Hey, pulling out those old skills, like you said, Cullen, we're going to be saving so much money with all our newfound skills, our new love for cooking, our new ability to cut our own hair, our new ability to do all these things that we're having to do now. I think there might be a pause. There might be a silver lining at the end of it. But like, I honestly think that if you don't need it right now, it's like the longer, this is my mentality that I was saying, was that the longer that you wait, the longer that you push it off, the longer that you get that, even if you don't want to eat green beans again tonight, maybe if you just eat this last can of green beans, till you absolutely need to, then that's one step closer, one day closer, 1 week closer that you'll be to them actually having a cure in a way that if you did get it, they would be able to save you.
Flattening the curve.
Yeah. That's what they keep talking about.
Then is that curve going to go back up, though, once everybody gets back out? Like, that's what's just, all right.
Going back.
God, right.
My son saw it.
Yeah. Well,
My whole thing, yeah, I just don't want anything to happen to my baby. I've heard, like, at first it was, oh, well, babies can't get it, and young folks, it's all older folks, and now it's everybody. And now I've been hearing on the news that, like, babies are getting it and dying. And, like, infants, like, people are born and get it. Like, so I have a doctor's appointment actually tomorrow, and I'm canceling because it's not, like, and I understand, and they want to keep all the pregnancy appointments and stuff, but it's like the last appointment, I'm in my 3rd trimester, so I'm going every 2 weeks, and then here soon I'm supposed to be going every week. Well, in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to risk it when 2 weeks, I just saw y'all 2 weeks ago. Y'all said that the baby was perfectly healthy, like A+ smiley face, nothing wrong, perfect heartbeat, perfect everything. Okay, so my baby's fine. Since I've been 2 weeks ago, I felt her kick me every day. I've
got all that. You're good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've got one of those little sonogram, like the home things where you can hear the heartbeat. I've listened to her heartbeat a couple times, and it's good. It's like 140 or whatever. It's fine. Like, I just feel like it's not necessary for me to put myself and the baby at risk by going to a hospital where there are also patients that have this. And the lady's telling me, she's like, well, we clean everything really good. Every appointment's canceled except for, like, we're spacing them out to where no one's even going to be in the lobby. And that's true. The last time I went, there was nobody there. It was a ghost town. But you all use the same elevators. She's like, our ward is a totally different ward, on a totally different level and different side of the hospital. Yeah, but we still use the same elevators coming from the parking garage to get into the building. So it still puts me at risk, and I'd still rather not if I don't feel like there's anything wrong.
Go back to that just old school motherly instinct. If you feel like you're good, you're good. I mean, there's no reason to think about it. Did you see the first baby twins born that were named Corona and COVID or something?
Cullen, please. These people have lost their damn minds. What are y'all thinking? You're going to regret that one day.
Oh, Lord. I don't know where they're from. Probably Alabama, but.
What did
yeah.
That had the babies that named it, I thought it was funny. I was like, that's not funny.
No.
That's not funny. Why is it that I want Chinese food so bad, Cullen? Like, oh my God, if I could learn how to make, if I had the ingredients, but we didn't buy all
I had some
stuff.
frozen last night from Sam's, just chow mein. I was like, oh, this is amazing.
I don't know. Crazy, the one thing that's like probably the scariest thing to eat. I did go on Postmates the other day, and I ordered, before the fear really set in, and I'd ordered, what did I get? I'd ordered something, and it was absolutely terrible. They didn't bring me any of the sauces or anything like that. I was like, forget about it. But that was the only time that I've gotten anything from a restaurant in 3 weeks, So just trying to eat what we have at home. Thank God Corey's here now, and he can cook for me. He cooked us. We had Thanksgiving dinner last night. We had cranberry out of the can. That's the only way to eat cranberry sauce. These weirdos with the whole cranberries, you've lost your mind. But we did like a Thanksgiving side. So we had the dressing, the stuffing, and the cranberries, and then we had green bean casserole like Mama makes. And then instead of turkey, we had pork chops.
Yum.
You gotta get creative though. Spaghetti, tacos, hamburgers every night. It's hot dogs like that's been my little. I made some soup. I mean, that's been like my rasta. I gotta start branching out, making new stuff. So
I've been trying to air fry everything with that little air fryer. It's been amazing.
I think I gave you that.
Good. I've never used it until recently with this whole thing.
Or maybe pot we gave y'all.
No, you did that for Christmas, but I think the air fryer, you had an extra one or something. And I was like, what is this? This is dumb. But now I'm like, this is awesome.
You know, it would be a good idea, and I was saying this earlier while we were playing beer pong, but we should, about the whole cooking thing, we
Yeah.
should do a Zoom class. I have a friend that's a chef, or the guy from Bright Star.
Yeah.
That place is so good. But like we should do a Zoom with Mom and Stan, you and Katie, me and Corey, and then the chef, and we can all be in our kitchens and learning how to cook this stuff.
Or have like a family cook-off and have the audience vote on who they thinks tastes the best.
Oh yeah, Top Chef and stuff. I love those TV shows.
I was about to say that we need to end this, but I wanted to end it with like, we're not going to talk about this every week, this whole pandemic.
We actually, I text Cullen this morning. I was like, Cullen, let's try to go this whole podcast. Oops, sorry. I said, Cullen, let's try to go this whole podcast without saying COVID or Corona the entire time. Let's not even talk about it.
I think we did good until the baby names came up.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But I mean, I wanted to like not even talk about it at all. Like, so next week, Cullen, let's try to give everybody. This is what I want to talk about this week, and we just couldn't. We hadn't seen each other all week, so we got to catch up. This is just like me and Cullen's conversation. Y'all are privy to, but I like this week. I really want to start looking at the news stories that have nothing to do with the virus, because I feel like a lot of the things that you would normally hear about on the news, like just this morning there was a huge wreck outside of my house, and I think the lady's not gonna survive. It was real bad. It was a head-on collision with a little car and a lady in it, and the garbage truck, and she swerved head-on collision with them, and it was like real bad. They were removing her from the car, and she did not. My neighbor saw it and said she did not look like she was gonna make it. But like things like that no one's gonna ever hear about or know about. And that's a terrible example. That's not a happy news story, but just news in general of things that I feel like are getting swept under the rug because all the news channels are focused on the pandemic and maybe not shining a light on other things that are also important. Because, this is the pandemic obviously is important, but there's other things in the world that are important too.
Yeah.
Like little girls' birthdays, that's important, or just, other things that are going on in the world that I feel like we could maybe shine a light on. So maybe we could do that. I've also been thinking maybe we could get a guest on of somebody that's already had it and survived it.
Yeah.
If any of you that are listening have had coronavirus and you've come out on the other side and you're okay, leave us a voice message. We'd maybe get in touch with you and try to have you on the podcast, because that would be a really cool viewpoint to see what it's actually like from somebody that's had it.
Yeah. I've watched several videos, and that would be interesting to actually talk to somebody firsthand. But cool.
Yeah, y'all, any ideas of things that you want us to talk about? If you're sick of hearing about this stuff and you just want to get your mind off of it and talk about something else, and let's try to mix it up a little bit since we're doing this a whole new way. And thank you guys for sticking with us and listening every week, and we love y'all. And those of you that follow along, even if you're not listening to us on your commute to work every day like you probably were, and now you're listening to us at home, thank you so much for the support and for even thinking about us, even though you're not in your normal routine.
All the husbands out there that tried to put off that honey-do list, there's no excuse now to not find time. So you're probably out there mowing the grass right now listening to us. But
hey, Home Depot packed, so that's what my neighbor said. We didn't try to go, but Home Depot was like a line out the door. They're only letting a couple people in at a time. It's crazy. Y'all try to do some things for your wives though, for real, that you got around the house. Don't go out, but
no. And yeah, I'm going to start a list of things I find throughout the week of unrelated to all this, so we can talk about that next week. But
unrelated. All right, good deal. Well, Cullen, it's good to see your face, and thank you all for listening and for watching if you're watching, and tune in next week for Don't Tell Mom 2 Times Tuesday. In the meantime, go play some beer pong, do some karaoke.
Virtual beer pong. Episode 4 done. That's 94. Yeah, I think so. Thank you for watching and listening. See y'all. Peace. Don't Tell Mom. Peace.